Now, talking about the border, as Ducey said, they're going to get very active on this from the beginning. Had this clip here from Tom Homan, who is explaining they're going to do weekly press briefings to be transparent with the American people. Maybe we'll have a scoreboard like they had during COVID. Remember when Trump was in office, they had the death counter scoreboard. Every time somebody died, they just ratchet that thing up. Oh, another death. This is incredible. Then as soon as Trump lost the election and the jabs came out like the next week, then they said lives saved. Then it was that green one. Remember that? Anyways, my question is, are we going to have a scoreboard on like total deportations? I don't know. Maybe. Here's what this looks like.
What will you be doing in the briefings? A list of deportees?
We'll be doing what the current administration isn't doing, Byron. We're going to be transparent with the American people. We've said, President Trump has said, we're going to concentrate out of the gate on public safety threats and national security threats. So we want to tell the American people exactly what we're doing, who we're arresting, and how we're going about this. A lot of people are claiming this mass deportation is going to be inhumane and it's racist. We're going to show the American people we know how to do this, and we're going to do it the right way. So we're going to be very transparent, letting the American people know exactly what we're doing every week.
It doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what race. You can be a white person who's coming in from wherever. You can be a Chinese person coming in from China. We have people coming in from like 100 countries around the world. It doesn't matter what ethnicity, what background, what race, what color. If you're here illegally, you're here illegally. It's about the law. That's all. It's pretty simple stuff. So Tom Homan had that to say, and we'll be looking forward to those press briefings. We'd like transparency in our government, so that would be nice to see. But other questions about what Congress is going to do. Here's Mike Johnson coming out after a victorious certification hearing with zero objections. And as we talked about yesterday, we were saying, hey, are they going to object or not? I think the smarter political play for them was to not object. And of course they did not, because if they would have objected, everybody would have been like, interference. See? So they didn't do it. And the rules changed. So it actually made it harder for them to do. It went from one rep, one senator in order to cause an objection now to 20% of both chambers. So a lot more difficult ask. You'd have to get Raskin and all the rest of them to bundle up and then form an objection and get the same portion of that over in the Senate. So a lot harder this time around, part of the reason they didn't do it. But they're giving themselves pats on the back all over the place, saying, we did a great job, we didn't object, see how peaceful and transitionary we are, even though they tried to throw him off the ballot and then put him in prison. No, we love the free exercise of American democracy. Give me a break. All right, here's Mike Johnson in the aftermath of the certification, the anniversary of J6.
This was a landslide for President Trump, and we're so excited about that. And we got to certify that today and make history. We made history in a number of ways, Greta. This is the first time since 1988 that no Democrat in the House objected to the certification of a Republican victory for president. I think that's because we did exactly what President Trump said that we should do, and that is make it too big to rig. And we did. And this is a mandate from the American people, and we are very much ready to get to work on this agenda.
We sure hope so there, Mike, Speaker of the House, for a second time. All right. Here is what Trump posted over about Greenland. We're waiting for the president to emerge. Cables are still covering the Jimmy Carter funeral, the procession. And so here, as we can see, Trump, meanwhile, is talking about taking over Greenland. All right. Real important stuff. Says, look, all right, my reps, including Don Jr., have now landed in Greenland. The reception has been great. They and the free world need safety, security, strength, and peace. This is a deal that must happen. MAGA, make Greenland great again. Here's what the president posted. Need some like American triumphant music upon this landing. We come to liberate you. Touchdown. Dun, 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 dun. And Iceland is more greeny, the thing. Anyway, so the Trump entourage landing there in an opening salvo to a very fruitful relationship that is going to be blossoming and beautiful over this next few years as we integrate our two great lands. So we're looking forward to that. Trump and the crew in Trump Force One landing. Trump doesn't really need that plane so much anymore. He's not going to need it so much anymore here soon enough because he's going to be on Air Force One again. So everyone else can use that plane for the time being, and he'll come back and we'll take a look at how those conversations and negotiations in Greenland. Now, meanwhile, Democrats are so unhappy with the election that they're now saying they should get rid of the Electoral College so that they can just default to the popular vote, which they normally win, except this time they did not win. They lost to President Trump, even the popular vote.
And it's time for a refresh. And I think this is a good opportunity to do it. Donald Trump, he's very proud of the fact that he won the popular vote by 3 million votes, the way that Joe Biden was proud of the fact that he won by 7 million votes
Fake.
4 years ago. Okay, why don't we all agree just to have a popular vote for election? And,
No.
And it's time for a refresh.
No. Let's just have a popular vote? No. So that you guys can pad your numbers in New York and California with your mail-in ballots and your overseas voters and just ramp up the numbers and forego all of the other states in favor of the population supercenters. In other words, you can abandon flyover country and all of the midland countries in favor of California and New York. No, he wants a supermajority for the Democrats indefinitely, and they'll do what they can to get that. Now, I think that would require a lot of work. I don't think it's a prospective thing, like amending the Constitution and so on. But there's also other areas where they're trying to make this happen. Remember that some states were signing on to that interstate compact, saying that if a number of states sign on to this compact, the states can voluntarily agree outside of the Constitution, outside of a constitutional amendment, to just assign their state's voters in alignment with the national popular vote, which is state suicide, because now you're just defaulting. Your state's interests are no longer representative. You guys might want something different, but now you're pledging your votes to the popular vote. It's lunacy. It's not democratic. It's tyrannical, but that's who the Democrats are. All right, that's Raskin. And here was the one from Ducey I wanted to share. Looks like we're not going to have a final press briefing from Joe Biden. They're just going to let this smoldering wreckage piddle and fizzle out right on the lawn of the White House.
This afternoon, White House officials declined to confirm an NBC report that in the next 2 weeks, we will get two Biden speeches, one about foreign policy and one about his 50 years in Washington, D.C. There's no plans for an end-of-term press conference, though, so if you have any questions about key decision points, you probably have to wait until the next Biden autobiography.
Oh, gosh. So we're going to have a foreign policy speech? He's wrecked it. There is no good foreign policy to talk about. What, Afghanistan, Ukraine, Gaza, Israel, China, Taiwan, balloons flying over our head, unknown drones. What is he talking about? So that's going to be interesting. And then he'll do another speech, which will be his giant hagiography, where he just enjoys himself in front of all of America about his 50 years. Gross. All right, so we're waiting for the president. Everyone else is covering Jimmy Carter. Fox News is waiting for the president, as you can see. And he's now 16 minutes past the start time, but it's okay. He's the president-elect. Very serious business, as they say.